Welcome to this video lesson.
Welcome to Module 4, the role of questions in comprehension. For each of the following statements, put a check under agree or disagree to show how you feel. Pause the mini-lecture to complete the anticipation guide. Questions play a central role in facilitating comprehension. There are 5 general parts of a question: the distribution, question load, wait time, student response, and teacher response. The distribution is how or to whom the teacher gives the question to the class for answering. Question load is the question itself. Wait time is when the teacher gives students time to think before expecting an answer. This is the part of a question that teachers shortchange. Waiting 5 seconds results in longer, more elaborate responses, higher level thought processes, and fewer no responses and I don't knows. 5 seconds isn't long, but sometimes it can feel like an eternity to a teacher. Student response is the answer to the question asked. Teacher response is giving the student feedback or targeted verbal reinforcement. How do the parts of questions look? Here is an example. The teacher says, "Tom, is Japan in Europe or Asia?" For your English language learners and even special needs and average students, it is best to call on the student before asking the question so he or she knows to pay attention to the question. After asking the question, the teacher waits 5 seconds. Tom responds, "Asia." The teacher then gives targeted verbal reinforcement. Correct, Japan is in Asia.
There are 5 ways to ask questions: solitary, controlled, voluntary, spontaneous, and mass. Solitary questions are asked of individual students. In controlled questions, a participation cue informs the class that everyone is expected to reply. Then the teacher designates who will respond. In voluntary questions, a participation cue invites students to participate.
Spontaneous questions have 2 or more students respond to a question before the teacher designates or responds. Finally, in mass questions, the teacher designates a group of students to respond in unison. Now let's talk about the taxonomies of questions. A taxonomy is a classification of objectives, type of questions, or other items based on difficulty. One way of looking at questions is to examine the kinds of thinking processes involved in asking and answering them. In comprehending, students understand prose on a literal level. In organizing, students select important details from the selection and construct relationships among them. In elaborating, students make connections between information from the text and prior knowledge and include a wide range of activities including making inferences, creating images and analogies, and evaluating or judging. In monitoring, students are aware of cognitive processes. It entails knowing whether a selection makes sense and knowing what steps might be taken to improve comprehension. Bloom's taxonomy is a very popular questioning taxonomy. The levels from lower level to higher level are knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Search the internet for more information about Bloom's taxonomy. T5 stands for topic, fact, inference, vocabulary, and evaluation. The fact and vocabulary type questions can be asked during reading, but the topic, inference, and evaluation type questions must be asked after reading. Topic questions ask about the main idea or a summary of the reading. Fact questions look for literal details from the story. Inference questions ask for answers where you have to use what you know and the information in the text. Vocabulary questions ask for the meaning of the word or phrase in the given story context. Evaluation questions require that the reader make a judgment and think beyond the text. Many times, evaluation involves linking the reading to the student's life. Some students are text-bound and may not realize that answers to some questions require putting together several pieces of information from the reading or using their background of experience plus that information to answer questions. These students may benefit from using QAR, question-answer relationship, in which questions are described as having the following 4 levels based on where the answers are found. In right there questions, the answer is found within a single sentence in the text. These are literal level questions. In think and search questions, the answer is found in several sentences in the text. These are inferential level questions. In author anew questions, a combination of information from a text and the reader's background is required to answer the question. These questions combine inferential and application levels. Finally, in on my own questions, the answer is in the student's background of knowledge. These are application and evaluation level questions. Here are some QAR question examples based on the book The Giver. FELS consists of asking questions and using prompts and probes that are focusing, extending, lifting, and substantiating. Focusing questions, as the name implies, direct students' attention to a particular topic. The teacher asks literal questions designed to help students describe that behavior. Extending questions are designed to elicit clarification and elaboration. By extending students' thoughts on the same level, the teacher can encourage them to seek additional information about a character or event and clear up points of confusion. Extending is important because it prepares students for the next step and provides slower students with an opportunity to become involved. Lifting is the crucial stage. Through questioning or other means, the teacher lifts the discussion to a higher level. Substantiating questions ask students what evidence they found or what standards or criteria they used to draw a conclusion, make a judgment, or prove a point. FELS should be used with care. Frequent shifting from level to level may produce lack of sustained achievement at any level and result in a return to a more basic level. Reciprocal teaching was discussed in Comprehension Module 2. Generally, there are 2 types of questions in reciprocal teaching: on-surface questions, which are factual knowledge level questions, and under-the-surface questions, which use higher level thinking. English language learners may not respond to teachers' questions because they don't know the answer or they can't understand the question. Research has shown that teachers need to make an extra effort to develop the responding skills of ELLs. In addition to the prompts discussed earlier in this mini-lecture, you might use the following. Request a response in the student's native language and have someone translate it if you don't speak that language. If the student gives an incorrect response that might be due to a misunderstanding of content or language, say, "Help me understand what you mean. Tell me more so that I can understand your thinking." If the student says nothing or "I don't know," but you think the student might be able to answer the question, say, "I think you know something about this, and I would like to hear what you have to say." You might also rephrase the question and/or request as a yes or no response. Or you might prompt a nonverbal response. Can you show me what you know by acting it out or drawing it? When ELLs say, "I don't know," they may mean that they don't know how to express their knowledge in English. The keys to fostering participation are to value all responses and provide scaffolding. Before we start on assessment, let's briefly cover a few more books that help teach comprehension strategies. These 3 are titles for comprehension strategy development in making connections. These 5 books are good when teaching making predictions. These 3 books are good for teaching monitoring understanding. These 2 books are good for teaching visualizing. These 3 books are good for teaching questioning. Finally, these 3 books are good for retelling and/or summarizing.